What's up, guys? It's me, Tiff, and I just had a really interesting conversation with Gene Borrello, a former mob enforcer for the Bonnano crime family. Gene was recently released from MDC Brooklyn, and guess who he was dormitory roommates with? Sam Bankman-Fried. They were in a special unit for high-profile individuals called 4 North, and apparently there were less than 30 people in that unit. So they didn't just pass by each other in a cafeteria, they actually had some very interesting one-on-one interactions. Gene tells me about Sam getting potentially extorted and having to stand up for Sam, how Sam is spending his days now, and Sam apparently being on suicide watch. We also talk about Sam's potential sentencing and what we think he should get, but I'm sure it'll piss a lot of people off. So I was obviously really interested to hear about all of this, but I will say that this is my first time hosting a recorded podcast or interview, so please bear with the technical difficulties in the beginning. I don't think it was recording.
Yeah, it just started.
Oh
It's
my
all right.
God.
That was good too.
It was good.
We were flowing. That's good. You see how good that was going?
Well, Gene, thanks for your patience. And I guess
Yeah.
I'll say again,
I was a former associate of the Bonnano crime family. Yeah.
and the first time I'm ever meeting a gangster. And he also got out of MDC Brooklyn not too long ago in September. And he was
Yes.
actually in jail with Sam Bankman-Fried. But you were in a sort of special unit, and it was specifically sort of for high profile individuals that
Right.
might need
Yeah.
support.
So basically, it's for dropouts, cooperators, people that can't be in population. They might be too wealthy, too high powered. Like I said, the president of Honduras was in there, the attorney general of Mexico, huge cooperators against the mafia or against cartel, MS-13s that are cooperating. You know, certain things that you can't be in population, and then you might have guys that drop out of their gang, which means they don't want to be in their gang no more, but they can't walk the yard no more. So they'll come in there. And like I said, we knew Sam Bankman was coming in because the COs had told us, but he was on suicide watch. And what happened was when he got off suicide watch, then he came into our unit.
Does that mean that he was actually suicidal, or do they just put every person
I
through
mean, if you
suicide
say
watch?
it, I want to kill myself, they'll put you in there. You know, you go in there for 24 hours, they watch you, and then, you go out. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. Did
Yeah.
you guys ask him about that? Because I'm actually surprised to hear that. I didn't know that that had happened. I hadn't heard that anywhere else.
Yeah, so he was on the suicide watch for just a day, I believe, and then he came into our unit. We didn't ask him about it because a lot of people do that sometimes just to mess with the cops and stuff like that, so
Oh,
we didn't
oh
really
my
care.
God.
Yeah,
Damn, I actually didn't know that at all. There was just
yeah.
like a Wall Street Journal story that came out. I don't know if you saw it. It said that Sam was trading mackerel and stuff like that, but it didn't say anything about the suicide watch. So I'm surprised to hear about that.
Well, yeah.
Quick note, I sometimes get comments about my smiling in videos, and people have commented that I look so happy that Sam Bankman-Fried might be going to prison for life, but that's actually not the case, and I honestly just smile when I'm going through trauma or hear horrific or sad things. I was laughing and cracking jokes in my video about losing my life savings to Celsius Network, and that's just my personality and how I deal with things. Probably need to go to therapy, but just leaving that note here.
Well, Sam's a vegan, so I kept telling him there's not many foods you're going to be able to eat in here, buddy. We're not going to serve you a vegan tray.
Well, I mean,
Right.
just to reiterate to the audience, because we talked about this before the recording, but you guys were basically in a dorm. So it wasn't like they just crossed paths or anything like that. You guys were in a dormitory together. So you
Right.
guys got to interact quite a bit.
Yes, yeah. And
Oh my
I'll
God.
tell you exactly what I told him when I spoke to him about his case. He believed he was only getting 20 years. I asked him about who his judge was. He told me who his judge was. I says, you have the worst judge in the business. I said, one of the meanest judges. I says, how many prosecutors? He said he has 8 prosecutors assigned to him. And then he told me the big thing where I knew he was screwed. He says they won't even give him a plea. I says they're forcing trial. Yeah, so they're basically trying to give you life in prison. He didn't understand that. And I kept telling him what they're doing. And I says, beating the feds, I want you to win, but you don't beat them. It's very rare. My boss beat them on a not guilty verdict was like hitting the mega. Oh, it was like hitting the Mega Millions ticket, like walking in for $1 and hitting the. It don't happen. So so I explained to him that if you do blow trial, they're going to give you a lot of time, a lot.
I mean, Sam's always been kind of over optimistic. When I was interviewing him on house arrest, I asked him what he thought the odds were of him getting out of this scot-free, just with no jail time. And he was like, I think it's around 50-50. And I was like, dude, no.
He just didn't understand how much trouble he was in, and a bunch of us were trying to explain it to him, and we were trying to school him on jail and what to do because he's completely lost. He has no clue what's going on. First time in jail in his life, you know what I mean? So he's like totally confused and lost. And we were just trying to explain to him that like this is the feds. you're accused of stealing billions of dollars, which is worse than having murder, in the feds. You know what I mean? So, I mean, he really just didn't understand how screwed he was until we started breaking it down to him. You know what I mean?
So,
Yeah.
like, did everyone already know who he was? Everyone knew his reputation?
Oh, yes. The whole prison knew who
Yes.
he was. But, here's the
Okay.
problem. You can't put him in population because he won't last because they're all going to be trying to extort him. They were even trying where I was. And that's why I got into the fight, ultimately. I told you what happened.
Okay, I want to hear about this fight because you sent me a screenshot or a photo of your ticket, right? Where
Right.
you apparently stood up for Sam at some point. So, yeah, I want to hear this whole story from beginning to end.
So it was weird because, like, when he came in right away, some little dirtbag tried to grab him up because they were trying to get in his pockets. I knew right away. So me and my friends in my section already seen the move, what they were trying to do. And we don't care about how much money he has. We didn't care about that. Me and my friends have our own stuff. We're good. We just like to look out for people. So these little young gang members, fake gang members, wherever they are, they grabbed him up and told him to come move in his section. So they took him in his section. You could tell he didn't want to be there. He was just nervous.
Yeah.
He's out of his element. He doesn't hang out with gang members in the street. Now he's sitting with bloods. You know what I mean? So they have him with blood gang members, in the section. And all of a sudden, like 3 days go by, I think it is, 4 days go by. We've been talking here and there. The kid doesn't want nobody talking to him, trying to control him, tell him what he could do and can't do.
Oh,
So
God.
Sam Bankman's trying to come over and talk to me and my friend, and the kid seen it and then called me over and says, "Yo, I don't want you talking to him. I don't want you doing nothing to him. He's hanging out with me." I says, "Bro, listen, I know what you're doing. You're not taking nothing from him." I says, "He's not giving you nothing." And the kid swung at me. And then that was it. I beat him up all over the place. I went to the hole for 80 days. I wouldn't stop. And I told him, I says, that was it. I took the kid with me to the box, basically.
Honestly, I
Yeah.
think that's a
So
stand-up
the
thing to
kid,
do.
yeah, he was a nice guy. He was harmless. He really didn't know what was going on. The kid was trying to take advantage of him, get in his pockets. He was basically telling him to send him like $1,000. And it was just like some real bullshit. And Sam was, you could tell, nervous. He didn't know what to do. And
Yeah.
I got him out of that situation because I took the kid with me because he went to the hole with me. You know what I mean?
Well, good.
So I ended up going to the hole as well,
God, I mean, that fucking sucks that you had to go to the hole, and I don't even fully know what that entails, but I know that that's very bad. But I think that's the stand-up thing to do. Sam is he is harmless ultimately. Like he's so weak. He's small. I don't think the guy has ever worked out a day in his life. Like it's
Listen,
good that
he
someone
has the
bigger
body.
than
He has the body of the 80-year-old. Yeah, he has like no shape to him. You know what I mean? He's like,
you
and
told
he's
me this story. You told me that you
yeah,
told him he has the body of an 8-year-old.
yeah. So and when he talks to you, he puts his head down like this, and he's very like timid. You know what I mean? And he talks very
Yeah.
nervous. And a funny thing we had said to him though, because we were all asking him like, you have all this money, millions or billions, whatever. He told us he was making $1 million a day legitimately. He goes and says, well, I said, what were you doing with the money? I said, what kind of watch did you have? He said, I had an Apple Watch. I said, what kind of car were you driving? He said, a 2020 Toyota Camry. Me and my friends go, so what the fuck did you steal the money for? You want to look at it? I mean, what are you doing with it? I'd be on
What
like
did
a
he
gold
say?
yacht. I mean, like helicopters. Like you got billions of dollars, bro.
What was his
It didn't
answer?
make no
Because yeah,
sense. I told him, I said, it don't make no sense. I said, what are you doing with the money? He says, he goes, I don't. He was walking around with basketball shorts, Nikes, and he said he only had one nice thing was his home in the Bahamas. He said he had a
yeah.
penthouse in the Bahamas. That was it.
Quick pause, but I wanted to thank the sponsor of this video, Claims Market. A lot of people who watch my videos are fellow crypto bankruptcy creditors. I personally lost a lot of money to Celsius Network, but I know a lot of you lost money to FTX. Well, Claims Market offers an option for fellow bankruptcy creditors to gain access to immediate liquidity. Claims Market is basically a marketplace where you can list your bankruptcy claim for sale, and almost 50 onboarded buyers will compete and bid for your claim to ensure that sellers get the best price. Their generic pricing for large claims is around 57 to 61%. However, this can change dependent on claim price and preference. Claims can be sold quickly, sometimes even the same day that they're listed, and you can view this on a transparent transaction history at claims-market.com. Once a trade is confirmed, buyers are contractually obligated to send payment to a seller within 2 business days. This offers crypto bankruptcy creditors a path to immediate liquidity. They're credible, and they've actually transacted the most crypto claims in all bankruptcy cases, including FTX. In fact, over $200 million worth of crypto claims have been traded on Claims Market in the past year. They also have an almost 5-star rating on Google reviews. By the way, this is not financial advice. I would never tell you what to do with your bankruptcy claim or your money, but I do think it's a great option if you do want to sell your bankruptcy claim in case you might want to reinvest your money back into the market or just need immediate liquidity. I also just want to note that FTX claims are currently selling at the highest price they've ever been sold since the bankruptcy started in November last year. If you have questions or you want to learn more, you can find Claims Market on Twitter at claims_market, on YouTube at Claims Market, or on LinkedIn under Cherokee Acquisitions. You can also check out their website at claims-market.com. Anyway, thank you to Claims Market, and back to the video.
Yeah.
It's honestly true, though. I mean, like, I've been to the guy's house, and people have these weird conspiracy theories that this guy is secretly into this designer luxury shit, and he was just stealing all this money so that he could buy a super yacht or something. But he really
No.
does just wear shirts and t-shirts. Like,
He wears,
it's,
yes.
yeah. Did he get bullied a lot? Do you expect him to
No.
get bullied a lot?
No. Well, I mean, if he went into the other side, yeah, he'd be lunch meat. He would not be able to go over there. I mean, see, he would have to be in a dropout yard unit or like where he is. He can't go into regular population because they're going to be all over him. You know what I mean? They're going to, you know how much money he has and they're going to be trying to extort him. You know, that's just what it is. You know, there's no way he's going to get around that unless he stays in these units or like dropout units. You know what I mean? They tried him in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So think about it.
Was he making friends? Were people friendly or nice to him at all? Or was he mostly just isolating himself?
Well, we kept on telling him, like, you're good in here. And the kid didn't want us to tell him he was good in here. Like, he wanted to make the kid feel, he wanted Sam Bankman to make him feel like, this is dangerous in here. You need protection. I kept saying, it's not dangerous in here. You don't need protection. Don't worry about it. You ain't got to pay nobody nothing. Don't listen to these fucking kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were just trying to make him scared. You know what I mean? Because they were trying to get money out of him. And I'm like, bro, you got nothing to worry about in here. This ain't a unit like that. You know, this kid's a little bum loser. Don't worry about him. You know, and then I end up fighting with the kid over it, you know?
I'm glad that he had someone to stand up for him. I hope he has that when he goes to prison, because I don't know how it works. Like, in prison, is there a high profile unit like this where he'll be in a safer place?
Not with the time that he's gonna get, he's gonna have to go to a penitentiary. So I mean, he's just gonna have to go to one of the penitentiaries. That's, you know, a dropout penitentiary, which there's only 3 of them, which is Coleman, Arizona, and not Lee County. There's only 3 dropout penitentiaries. So that's it. You know, if they give him 100 years, he's going to a penitentiary.
Did you notice anything about his mood, or did you notice him being sad or anything like that?
Well, he believed he was not getting a lot of time. Honestly, Tiffany, he believed that he was like good. We looked at him like he was crazy. I said, "This is the last time you go. The last time you're in the street." I said, "That's the last time you're going to see the street." He just didn't understand that. You know what I mean? I kept trying to explain that to him. I said, "I hate to break the bad news to you. You're never going to see the outside again. Like, you're not comprehending it. You know what I mean?"
Yeah.
He just wasn't comprehending it. You know?
That's the feeling I was getting when I was
again?
talking. Sorry?
What was his recommendation?
I think he's like literally off the charts. I think especially because he stole so much money. I think he's off the charts. So he's facing up to 115 years in prison.
Right.
I think the guidelines, someone counted them all up. I don't know how to count them up, but a lawyer counted them up. And apparently he got like 47 points. And I heard the cutoff is 43 points. So I think the guideline sentencing range is life. But he's facing up to 115. And you said that you don't think Judge Lewis Kaplan is going to go easy on him at all.
He's the most strictest judge in the Southern District. Kaplan's one of the most known strictest judges in that business. And on top of that, what did the prosecutor recommend? Did they say?
I don't think they've said yet. I know his sentencing is in March, but they haven't stated like a year amount yet.
Right. So usually the judge 9 out of 10 times will go with the prosecutor's recommendation, and if he goes under, he just has to explain why. You know what I mean? The judge could give him under. He don't have a minimum mandatory, right? He don't have a minimum mandatory, nothing like that, right? There was no bottom.
I don't think so.
Okay, so
no.
Yeah, the judge could get whatever he wants, but most of the time he's going to go with the recommendation, which would be something, you know, out of this world, you know, which I think is bullshit, Tiffany. I think it's bullshit to get that much time.
I know. I mean,
we were talking about that.
Yeah, we were talking about the fact that, I mean, you were comparing this to murderers who you said get plea deals and get what, 20? I don't know. What do you usually see? You know more.
I can name you a premeditated murder where a man shot a man in his head for the mafia, a hit, no cooperation. He got 21 years. Okay? I can name
Yeah.
you another man who killed a man, shot him 7 times, got 26 years,
Oh my
25 years in
God.
the feds. You mean to
Yeah.
tell me that a guy that stole money is going to get natural life in prison and never hurt a person in his life, never been in a fist fight?
Yeah.
I think it's bullshit.
Well,
I don't agree with that.
honestly, I say the same things, and I've said that on my YouTube channel before, and I've said it on like Twitter before, and I get a lot of heat from people who say, well, obviously, if a guy stole this much money, people might end their lives, people might commit suicide. Personally, I'm like, if you genuinely don't see the difference or any distinction between someone who actually cold-blooded murdered someone and actually took
Right.
someone's life versus someone who, like, they're different things. The outcome might be drastic, and like he might have ruined a lot of lives potentially, but I don't think they're the same thing. And Sam isn't a dangerous person where I think he needs to be off the actual streets for the rest of his life and never see the light of day. And you were saying, so
It's totally bullshit, and I don't agree with it at all. A guy like that should get worst case, 20 years. Worst case, like the judge is completely so mad at him, make him pay back a lot of money, make him pay back some of their families. Fine. There's no reason to give the guy 100 years. That's just insane. It doesn't even make sense, to be honest with you. It's just the
I
government doing what the fuck they want. That's all it
I
is.
know.
It's insane.
It's it's just
It
like
is.
sending a message, I think. Like, and obviously it's a high
Yeah.
profile case, so I feel like they'll want to send a message since there's so much media attention on this. But like, I'm someone who lost a shit ton of money to another fraud company, and I care more about how much money I'm getting back. Like, I want the guy to be able to go work and pay restitution. Like, I don't care. It
Right.
doesn't help me at all for someone to sit in
Right.
jail until the day they die.
And that's what I said. I feel like a guy like that, I can see if he had priors or he committed other offenses. He's known for this. It's his first offense. The guy's never been in trouble in his life. He's never been in a fist fight in his life. Never hurt a fly. And you're gonna go in front of this man and actually say natural life in prison, no drug
Yeah.
dealing, not selling drugs. He's not doing anything. He supposedly, which I don't even. We don't know if he really did it or not. You know what I mean? I mean, the guy was making legit $1 million a day. Whatever they say he did, you're gonna give this guy 115 years, 105 years. I think that's the most stupidest thing I ever heard. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that like anything like life in prison for him is just insane. I think 100 years or anything more is absolutely fucking insane. People get so mad online about that sentiment, but that's how I feel too. I mean, he's not dangerous, and he's not someone I worry about being on the streets.
I'll be honest with you, and if they don't give him a lot of time, forget it. The judge is gonna, everyone's gonna be complaining. Everyone's gonna be
I,
complaining if you don't get a lot of time. It's gonna be all over the media. Oh my God, he ruined his lives and did all this stuff. They're gonna make it. This is a case. This is what you call a glory case. Every prosecutor wants a part of it. You understand?
yeah,
This is, you see, I'll break it down to you. Federal prosecutors don't care about how much money you could pay them. They don't want money. They want glory because federal prosecutors become judges, politicians, analysis, big time federal attorneys when they're making $1 gazillion. So all they care about is glory prosecutors in the feds. He's the glory
yeah,
case. They know
yeah.
this. So he's fucked. Just put it that way. All right, that's pretty much what it is. And we told him that from the beginning.
So you guys were all kind of coaching him through all of this. I mean, so did he talk about the crimes? Did he talk about what he did? I mean, what I am just curious any of the conversations you've had with him. I'm curious to hear anything you guys talked about.
He Well, I broke down to him the laws and the guidelines. I knew he had wire fraud. I says wire fraud alone, you could get 20 years. You know what I mean? I knew that. I says with the other charges, I think they hold a lot more, and they could run wild on you if you blow trial. So he could get
Yeah.
20, 10, 30. I was trying to explain to him because I don't think he really understood that. I know he had good attorneys, but I think in his brain he kept on telling me, "Oh no, I'm going to be fine. I'm only going to get 20 years." I says, "I don't know who's
Yeah.
telling you that." I kept telling him. I says, "I don't know who's telling you 20 years. Who's telling you this? Your lawyer must cost a lot of money. Why does he keep telling you 20 years? That's not true." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I
I
think
think he
now
said
I
a
think he
similar
remembers that conversation. You know?
You were in the hole for a long time. So did you get to see him after the verdict came out? Did you get to see his reaction?
No. I went home from the
Yeah.
box. I went home from the hole, and
Uh,
I found out when I was in here, which we knew was gonna happen. Everyone knew already.
do you think he knew he would be found
No.
guilty? No.
No, he said there was only 4 cooperators against him, something like that, and he said that he wasn't worried about it. He was not worried. He wasn't
That's
worried
the
about
sense
the
that
case.
I got that sense. I mean, I talked to him in house arrest, so it was further. You talked to him when it was further along, but like I got that sense too. Like he seemed like he didn't really realize that this would really happen and that he would really maybe be found guilty. God
Yeah,
damn.
I felt bad for him, and I told him, I said, there's no way out of this. I said, I said, did they ask you to cooperate? He said, no. They didn't even ask him for nothing. They just wanted him and only him. They just basically he was the target. They don't care. That's who they're going after. And he said there was 8 prosecutors on his case. 8.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
yeah,
That's a
and they
lot.
were
That's a lot of
good.
prosecutors. Yeah, that's a lot of prosecutors to be assigned to a case.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge case. I mean, he
Yeah.
was fucked going into it. Like he had, I think his team was like three lawyers or something like that. I mean, that's what he told me, but
He said he spent 1 million. Yeah.
he only spent 1 million on all his legal.
That's what he said. Something like 1 million or 2. I think it was for lawyers. One or 2 million he spent on lawyers, and then I know he was out on $350 million bail. I mean, I don't even know how that's
250
possible.
million. Yeah, that's like I think it's one of the largest in U.S. history, or maybe
It
the
is.
largest.
It is. It's the
Fucking
largest bail
insane.
in history. Yeah, it was the largest bail in history. That's what we were
I mean,
told.
they're
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
sending messages. Like they're definitely sending a
Yeah.
message.
So for instance, when he wasn't there and we were trying to explain to him what to do and what to eat and everything, and like I
Yeah.
said, one thing we would try to tell him, he wasn't showering, and we told him you got
Why
to
wasn't
shower. I don't know.
Why wasn't
I don't know. And I told him, you got to go in the shower. He said, and then he started going in. People were like, you gotta go in the shower.
Did he say why he wasn't showering? Was he scared
I
or
don't know.
something?
I guess maybe he just isn't a shower guy. I don't
I mean,
know.
he was usually clean when I'd see him. So, I mean, because
Yeah.
obviously there's all those jokes about like dropping the soap. Do you think he was worried about
Yeah,
that?
he was scared, maybe, right? He was listening to all the jokes, but yeah, eventually he started, getting a routine and being normal. But I left, I went to the hole and then I went home from the box, and then
Right.
when I had got out, I had heard he blew trial. But when I was in the hole, I heard that he was trying to come down to the hole. He didn't want to be in the house no more.
Oh, why? Like, do you know
The
what happened,
COs,
if anything?
the COs told me he might be coming to bunk with you. I said, why? They said because his family was calling up the jail. Something was going on there. I didn't get details, but I heard something was going on.
Oh, damn,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. So the
Fuck.
COs told me I was cool with all the COs. I said, your buddy might be coming down here. I says, why? I says, his family's calling up. They don't want him in there. They want him in the hole, something like that. I don't know, but he never came down. But I ended up going home, so I don't know what ended up happening.
So did you see other instances other than the one that you kind of stood
No,
up for him? Did you see nothing else? Like,
no.
so no one else was sort of bullying him?
Yeah, nobody else was. It was just these 2 kids that were just trying to pretend like this is a bad place, and they were getting mad that I was telling him it's not a bad place. You know what I mean? Don't worry
Yeah.
about it. Like, you're good. You know what I mean? No one's gonna bother you. That's what I was betting in his head, and the kid got mad, and then that's when we got into it. And I wouldn't
Damn.
stop. The kid was like, "Oh, stop, stop." I said, "No, there's no stopping. You just swung at me. We're going. That's it." So there's no stopping. It don't work
Hey,
like
you
that, buddy.
stood up for
Yeah.
someone smaller and weaker than you. I mean, Sam
Right.
could not fucking fight. Like I've never
No.
seen. Like he doesn't work out. And we were actually
Nothing.
talking about this. You told him he
Yes.
should. He said that he was not working out. Like
Nothing.
retell me that story.
But yeah, he looked he has the shape of an 80-year-old man. He's like a little scrawny thing, and he's always talking. He puts his head to the side. He's like, so everybody's like, "Oh, this dude." His hair was like this, all curly. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, so
Yeah,
what was he doing every day? How
yeah.
did he spend his days?
I mean, honestly, he was actually teaching people how to do that, the legit stuff, not the crime one. He was actually teaching them how to make money with that stuff. You know what I mean? People actually sitting with him for hours and wanted to learn it. So he was actually
Oh,
sitting down with people and teaching them. Yeah. Yeah.
oh, like about
One,
crypto trading?
yeah. He was actually teaching them and stuff like that and all that. And he was showing people in there what to do and how to make money and everything. So
Oh,
people were
so he.
listening. Yeah.
I heard like the Wall Street Journal story said that he was giving crypto tips to the guards. Do you know if that's true? Were the
Yes,
guards
yeah,
nice to
100%.
him?
Well, all the guards were talking to him. Yeah, the guards were all talking to him, and a lot of people were kissing his ass because they knew he had a lot of money. You know what I mean? Yeah, they were.
Shit. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know how much
we
money he
weren't
has
doing that.
anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't think he's broke though. There's no way. The government. I think the government actually told him give back some money and we'll work. I know, maybe make it a little less. He refused. He says that he don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, I did wonder why he didn't offer to give some of the money back. I don't think that he has all like some people think that he has billions of dollars left. Obviously, billions were used, but a lot of them went to like investments. But he gave his parents like 10 million before the collapse, and so they have some money, but I don't know. I don't think he has billions. I think he's definitely got some millions
Well,
somewhere. But
he showed me they had him net worth at 20 billion. That's what they had his net worth at. They had him.
Yeah,
They had him at $20 billion. I know he owned a $30 million condo in the Bahamas. That I know he had
yeah,
that.
that's
So I mean,
true. That's true.
there is some things that is worth, money. He said he traveled a lot. He said he was always all over the world, and that's what he liked to do. He said he loved to travel all over the world, and he was always on, private jets, traveling all over the world. So that was
Did
what he
he
said in
talk
his
about
thing.
that? That actually came up at his trial, and he was saying that
Yeah.
he didn't recall being on private jets. They asked him, how'd you get to the Super Bowl? He got there on a private jet. He was saying, I don't recall. I don't remember. Obviously, because it made him look bad to the jury to be flying on private jets.
Yeah, he flew everywhere private, he told us. He was all over the world, private jets. And those got to be like $10,000, $20,000 flights, maybe more. You know what I mean?
I
Going all over
bet.
the world like that.
So did other inmates kind of think this was cool? Did he have respect? Like it wasn't like people were just picking on him. Did he have some respect in prison or in jail?
No, I mean, everybody just, you got to understand, we were also with a lot of high, we're all high profile in our own way. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
everyone's like, he's meeting me. I'm a mob guy. He's like, I never met a mafia guy before in my life, and we're meeting him. And then he's meeting the Attorney General of Mexico, the president. So it's like a whole bunch of people just like, what the fuck? It's like a Fetty Wap was in there, the rapper, Fetty Wap
Wait,
was in there.
was Fetty Wap actually in there with Sam?
Oh, no, he missed him, but he was in that unit.
Oh,
He just left, but he was in there with us. Yeah, Fetty Wap was my buddy. I worked out with him every day. Yeah, Fetty Wap
oh,
was in
that's
there.
fucking cool. That's
Yeah,
kind of
Fetty
cool.
Wap's
I didn't know he was
Fetty's a
in
cool
jail.
guy. Yeah,
Oh,
Fetty
that's
Wap was in
funny.
our
Oh,
unit.
I would have
Yeah.
loved to see Sam interact with Fetty Wap. I mean, because Sam really is like I think he's like the nerdiest guy I've ever met. He's
Yes.
harmless. He's so
Yeah.
timid. People
Yeah.
have asked me like, was he ever pressuring you? Was he ever? I don't know. People have asked me if he ever kind of pushed me around, and he's always been so respectful and so timid. Um,
Right.
but so were you like one of his closer friends in there, or I mean, who did
I mean,
he
no, oh,
talk to?
no, no. I wasn't like close to him, but I was talk with him, and we would always speak. And I would, I could see he was walking around like, trying to figure things out. And I'm always a person like that. I don't want nothing from you. I just, I could see he's nervous, and he was more nervous about jail than his case. He didn't care about the case. He more or less cared about jail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was weird. He didn't care about his case. I told you, he felt like he was gonna win.
I think he kind of did. He thought he had a good shot. He thought he had almost 50% of winning. But I mean, did you talk about any of the emotional stuff? Did you talk about being nervous or did he talk about being nervous or scared or anything? Or you could just see it in his body language?
Well, no, no, because he kept saying my worst case is 20 years, and we kept on trying to tell him it's not. It's a lot more than that, and he just didn't understand that. I mean, he just kept on trying to explain it to him. It's not 20 years. You could get a lot more than 20 years. They're gonna try to Bernie Madoff you. They're gonna give you 1,000 years. You know what I mean? They're gonna try to hurt you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he was saying 20 to me too in house arrest just because he was saying like it's really rare for the judge to run them consecutively, so he thought they'd be run concurrently.
I don't know who
But
told him that. His recommendation is, I heard, like I said, 100 and something years. It's not. Listen, he
yeah.
might. You never know. The judge might give him 20 years. You don't know. You don't know. The judge could do that. I mean, it's highly unlikely, but the judge can. You know what I mean? The federal. My lawyer personally knows. My lawyer told me personally he has the most vicious judge in the Southern District, and my lawyer's been a lawyer for like 40 years, federal.
Jesus
So
fucking
she told
Christ.
me personally, Kaplan is one of the worst in the business. Like not mean, like not like he knows what his job, but he's just very strict and he's very for the prosecutors. He goes with the
He did
government.
seem he did seem strict. I mean,
Yes,
I went to every day of his trial and Kaplan like runs a tight ship. He does not let
right.
anyone fuck around in court.
Right, my lawyer told me he's very for the government. You have judges sometimes that are for the not for the people, but they're not just government. They'll like my judge Block. He was all
Yeah.
for me. He looked out for me.
Yeah.
He was against the government and looking out for me. You get judges like that sometimes, but this judge is totally, government. So if the
Oh, he's
government's
so
acting for
fucked.
100 years, 9 out of 10 times he's going to get somewhere in that ballpark.
I also read in the Wall Street Journal article, I read that he was trading pouches of mackerel in jail and that he paid someone 4 pouches of mackerel for a haircut before his trial. Do you know that to be true? Or did you guys actually
Wait, what
trade
was it?
mackerel? Or
That
someone said
is
that
true, but what are you saying?
that's true. They said that he paid 4 pouches of mackerel to get his haircut before trial. He did get a haircut right before trial. I did see it in
Oh,
person.
that's
Got a
normal.
haircut.
Yeah, that's normal.
A
I
normal?
know the barber too, so there's only one barber in
Oh,
that unit. So yeah, it's probably true. That's what you
so you
give him
got to
about
pay him with
$5.
mackerel?
It could be any kind of commissary. He might have just wanted mackerel for that, for that pay. You know what I mean? So it could be
Oh,
anything that
shit.
equals up to $5 or $10. Yeah, it could be
Yeah.
anything. But the
It
barber
made a
probably
good
wanted mackerel.
Made a good
Yeah.
headline. It was just like Sam Bankman-Fried trading mackerel in jail. It made a good headline.
They just put anything
Shit.
in there. Yeah, they don't care.
That's
With
funny.
that guy, they were
Well,
putting anything in the newspaper.
do you know if he got any visitors other than his lawyers, or do you know anything about that?
I know he was getting visitors from his lawyers all the time. I know that. I know that the lawyers were
Okay.
coming a lot, but I don't know about anyone else. I do know that just the lawyers were coming. They said they were getting ready for trial.
Anything else noteworthy about your interactions with Sam? Because this is the first time I'm actually hearing from someone who was in there with him. So I'm curious as to anything else that stands out to you, anything else you remember. You did say he
Um,
wasn't working out and you told him he should start working out. You
yeah,
mentioned that to me on our
and
phone call.
and like I say, he's a very he's a weird guy. I'm gonna be honest with you. He didn't fit in at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be real. He was like he's from California, but he was like very he was an odd fella. That's all I was gonna say. He was out there. He was a very interesting character. I can tell you that much. He,
He's he's
but he was a
awkward.
nice
I mean,
guy. But you know,
yeah. I mean, he
he
knows
just
that. He
yeah,
knows he's awkward. He's like said
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I've
And I
asked him if
told him
he
that.
thinks.
I told him. Wait, I told him, Tiffany, I says, do not go to the other side. Make sure you stay in this unit. I said, do
Yes.
not go
Yes.
to the other side.
Oh
You
God.
cannot last 10 minutes over there. Do not go over there. Yeah, they'll be
And
waiting
I
for
guess
you. Yeah.
I'm worried about him then when if he goes to a pen, or I guess I don't know all the hierarchies of jails,
Well,
but
if he gets 100 years, he has to. I mean, if he gets a number like that, he's going to have to go to a penitentiary.
and then is he just kind of screwed? Like he's just going to be out there with murderers and
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. If he even
I
qualified, he might not qualify for a dropout yard. I mean, like, he should, but if he don't, then he's going to a regular penitentiary or a regular jail. And maybe people won't bother him. I'm saying, but it's most likely that they're gonna because the feds is a mess right now. It's all gang members. It's not like it used to be. It's not like high-profile crimes no more. It's a bunch of bums in there that take anything out of the government. So it's people with no money. So this guy's coming in and they think he has millions of dollars. They're gonna be all over him like a cheap suit. You know what I mean? They're gonna they're gonna be on him. So I think he'll have a hard time if he goes to a regular jail.
I'm
Yeah,
a little worried for him if he does go to regular jail. I think like
yeah,
he's helpless. Did you guys get access to computers? Any
yes.
games? Okay,
So
okay.
we had to set it up. My friend actually set it up for him.
Oh,
He put the internet. You have to sign up. So it's basically like you have to. You can text people. You can have text app.
like you can actually
Yeah.
phone text people?
Well, you can text people's numbers. So basically you can so you can text somebody like it'll take 4 hours to get it, but you can text back and forth. You can have a conversation with somebody.
Oh,
Yeah. It's
damn.
called text app. Yeah, you could download it, you get it, and then you can text any number you want, and they can text you back, and you check the computer, and you could buy music off there. You can get we had the iPods, the big things, whatever they're called. It's like it plays movies on it, and they had that, and
Oh,
then you could download music. Yeah, so we were showing him how to use the computer and everything. So he was happy with
oh,
that. That's what he wanted
yeah,
mostly. He wanted his thing. Yeah, he wanted
yeah.
his pod, wherever it is.
I mean, that's what he was telling. He said that the main thing he would miss if he went to prison was internet access. So, did you guys actually get to browse the internet?
You had Google. I mean, you could look things up. You know what I mean? But it takes hours to come back. It's not like instant. So you put it in, and then it'll come back in a couple of hours. Then you'll get what you look for, or you might get a message back from the person you're texting. Stuff like
Damn.
that.
Okay, so
Yeah,
damn. Okay, that's actually a good deal. I didn't know he had access to all that. Damn,
yeah,
not too bad. Was he
yeah.
playing video
Yeah.
games? He was notorious before all. I don't know if you knew much about Sam before you met him, but
No, he
he's
told me he played
notorious
a lot of
for.
video games. Yeah, yeah. He
So did
told
he
me
get
he
to play
loved
video
video
games?
games. That's right.
He does love.
There's no video games in there. There's none in there except on the iPod thing on the tablet. It's
Okay.
a tablet. So you have
Okay.
video games on the tablet. So you can download video games off the computer for the tablet. Yeah. So he was probably playing those shits like crazy. Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
Honestly, this sounds a lot less bad than I expected his prison experience to be. It really doesn't sound that horrible.
Well, because of the unit that he was in. You know what I
Yes,
mean? It's because
yes.
he was in this unit where usually there isn't bullshit going on. There can be bullshit, but there usually isn't. You know what I mean? So he went to the other side. Nah, it's nonstop chaos. They knew they couldn't put him over there.
And then, oh yeah, you mentioned obviously he's vegan. So like, what was he eating? Just peanut butter, or
Yeah,
he
he was
lost a
not.
lot of weight.
Yes, he was not eating at all, really. That was the thing. He wasn't eating every day. We seen it, and he's like, he didn't know what to eat. He was very like, he was eating like the kosher trays. He was trying to get the kosher trays, so because they were a little better for him to eat because the regular trays he couldn't eat it.
The Wall Street Journal article says that he's now getting vegetarian meals. I don't know if it's true.
Really?
Hopefully it's true. That's what it says in the article.
I don't see
Do
how
they
that's
do that?
possible. Maybe a vegan tray like it basically is not going to be labeled. I guess so. I never heard of that. Maybe they started it. I don't know. Maybe it's like a
Maybe. That's
kosher.
what the Wall
Maybe it's
Street
a
Journal.
kosher tray. Maybe
Maybe it's a
kosher.
kosher tray. Oh, that's
Yeah.
another. So I talked to Martin Shkreli, and Martin Shkreli was saying he's going to have a hard time because he's Jewish. Do people hate on him for being Jewish?
No, I never heard of that. No, absolutely not.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Do you think he'll have to? Is he gonna have to
yeah.
join a gang? I mean, Martin Shkreli, he likes the views. He says a lot of like crazy things where I'm like, I don't know if this is true or not, or you're just saying this for the
No,
views.
no, he's not
Okay,
going to
because
join
he
a
was
gang.
saying,
He's
okay,
going
he
to
was
be.
talking about if Sam would have to join.
No, what happens when you go to the feds? There's cars they call them. So he's from
Okay,
California, so he'll have to go to the California car and hang out with the California guys. That's what'll happen. That's what'll end up happening.
okay,
He'll just go with the state of California when he gets to his spot. That's all. That's where he's
okay.
born, right?
That's
He's from
yeah. He was born.
California, right? He will
Yes,
go
yeah.
to Yeah, he will go to his California car. Mm-hmm.
So do people just end up segregating themselves by where they're from?
Yes, federal's very segregated. I mean, to the max. It's super segregated. And politics, like you can't imagine. As soon as he gets there, they'll know he's coming already, and they'll tell him to go. Obviously, they know he's not a child molester. He's not this. He's not that. He's so public. And then
Yeah.
he'll walk the yard with his car. He'll be with all the California guys. Hopefully, they
Okay.
don't give him a hard time.
Well, Martin Shkreli actually brought that up too. He was like, people are probably going to think he's a chomo when he gets into jail. No one
He's too
thought he was a
public.
chomo.
He's too
He's too
public knowledge. He does
okay.
look like a
Good.
trauma. We all said that. He looks like a sex offender, but he's not. Yeah.
Did you say it to Sam?
No, but we were saying like he looks like I said if you wasn't so public, you look like a sex offender. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what Shkreli said too. He was like, the guy looks kind of like he would be a chomo.
Yeah.
So I was worried about that. I was like, I
Yeah.
hope he doesn't get treated like a sex offender because I mean, Sam, he would never.
No.
He's definitely not.
Yeah, no, that's bad. They get terrorized. Yeah, you don't want to be that in there. Oh my God, that's the worst thing to
Oh
be in
my
jail.
god.
Yeah.
Did you
But
have any other
yeah,
funny
so
little?
no, I mean, and then like I said, when I left and I went to the whole, all I
Yeah.
heard was that he was supposed to come down. He was supposed to come into the bunk with me. So they told me he was coming down, but then he never did. And I went home. I guess his family was complaining they wanted him out of that unit. Maybe something happened. I don't know. I couldn't say.
I hope nothing bad happened in that unit because I'm like, if something bad happened in that unit, then I don't know how well that bodes for your prison stay.
Yeah. So
Shit.
are you going to go to his sentencing? You're
I
going to
will
the
go. Yeah,
sentencing?
it's in March. Yeah, so I'll fly back to New York for it.
Yeah. That's going to
We'll
be
see how it
wild. I
goes.
mean, because, it's not, Tiffany, it doesn't hit you until you actually get the time. See, right now you're in limbo. You're like, oh, maybe the judge will give me this. Maybe he'll give me that. It doesn't really hit you until the judge says life, this, and then this is your home.
Yeah.
Think about that. The realization got to kick in. It's sick,
Completely.
Think about
I
that
feel
feeling.
like I feel like this whole time it probably hasn't kicked in because I mean, obviously, like we said, Sam didn't think he was going to get more than like 20 years, and I don't think
Right.
it's really hidden. So I'm curious to
Think
see
about
how he
that.
feels. Yeah.
You might pass out in the courtroom. You think about it like this is your life now. This is what you do every day for the rest of your life. You sit in prison.
I went home for his verdict actually because I was talking to the court marshals and they were like, "Oh, there's no way that the jury reaches a verdict today. This is such a complex case."
Right.
They reached a verdict in less than 4 hours, and I wasn't there. But people were commenting on the fact that he was pretty stone-faced. He didn't have a big reaction. He wasn't crying when the verdict came in. But so was that sort of like what it was for you? It didn't hit you until you actually got sentenced, or?
It's when you get sentenced. That's the hard part because you found guilty, but like I said, there's still so much room. A federal judge can do what he wants pretty much, unless there's a minimum mandatory. If there's no minimum mandatory, a judge can give you what he wants. Only federal. So in actuality, if there's no bottom minimum mandatory, he could give him 5 years if he wanted. Is he going to?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, but in his brain, he's probably thinking like, oh, I got a chance. The judge might only give me this much. So like I said, it's not going to hit you until you get the actual sentence.
Totally. I mean, I'm a little bit worried that Sam is also gonna cling on to the idea of doing appeals or what is that what they're called? Like after he gets a sentence. I assume that he's gonna appeal because he just seems to
Yeah,
always
and that
cling
takes
to any little bit of hope.
Yeah, and like I said, that takes a long time. The appeals isn't guaranteed, and it's got to be a reason why they're giving you a retrial or something. It's not guaranteed, and those appeals, it could take 5, 6, 7 years. You could be sitting up for years before you get an appeal. For the most part, and I hate to say it, we'll never see him again in the street. That's just what it is. That's really what's going to end up probably happening. He will be in a
That's
prison for
like
the rest of his life. Yeah,
fuck. And like you
yeah.
said, like there's guys who have actually killed people who get less and get plea deals and everything like that. That's
Less,
wild.
less. I mean,
That's
20s, 19 years, 17 years, 22 years for murder.
Jesus.
Murder, killing
Holy shit.
people, like cold-blooded
Yeah.
execution murder, not by accident, planned to kill someone and kill them. And you're getting less time than a guy that stole money. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't
It's
I
like
can't wrap it around my head.
I
Yeah.
know. I mean, I'm gonna
I
get a
can't.
bunch of angry people in the comments, but I looked up the
Why?
median sentence. People get so mad at that statement. I've said I don't think he should get life in prison, and people get so mad. They say he's the amount of lives he's ruined, the amount of deaths he's caused. I'm like, it's not the same as cold-blooded murder and execution.
It's not.
Like I
It's
lost a shit
not.
ton of money. Like I
Right.
understand that. Like it's wild.
Yes, thank
First
you. Thank you.
first former member of the mob. Is the mob
Mafia.
the same as
Yes.
mafia? Like, so
Yeah,
you're
it's
a
the same
mafia?
thing. Yes, it's the same
Okay.
thing. I was a
So
mafia.
are you a
I was a
mafia
mafia guy in New
member?
York. Yeah, no, I was an associate trying to become a member, and I was out of New York. That's why I was with him. You know what I mean? So I couldn't be in a regular unit. I had cooperated against the mob. I couldn't go into a regular population, so I had to go
Jesus.
into that unit with these people
Huh.
because I have a
Damn.
mob. They made me, so I had to go into this 4 North unit. But like I said, it was a good unit. I liked it. I got along with everybody. I did 8 months on that time, and then I went home.
Maybe we'll
Yeah,
do another talk at some
you could do it. Yeah,
point.
so it comes out right.
I mean, so how many years have you spent in jails and in prisons?
13 years.
Damn.
I did a total of 13 years. I've been on parole, probation, jail since I'm 18. I'm 39 now. I just got done. I gave the system 21 years total in my life, and now I'm finally free. I can go where I want, do what I want. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes, for
I
the
mean,
first time in a long time.
so as an associate of the mafia, I mean, what kind of stuff did you have to do? Did you have to kill anyone?
Yeah.
Do you
No,
talk
yeah,
about
I was
that?
sent to. Yeah, I was sent to kill people. I was sent to shoot people, beat people up, extortion, robbery, arsons, violence, bad things, all kinds of things. That was our role. But not to innocent people. We hurt each other or people that borrow money or gamble with us, and other mafia crews or gang members that are disrespecting our area. It's more about protecting us and our people. You know what I mean? And then we'll be violent towards you.
What
Yeah.
a wild life. I haven't even honestly
Yeah.
watched that many mafia movies, so maybe
Right.
tonight I'll watch some mafia movies and think about your life in the mafia.
Right.
You've killed people and everything like that. Like, and how much time did you get sentenced to?
Well, I got my see, I was a very high profile cooperator at the time. I gave them a lot of stuff, and that's how I didn't end up getting a life sentence. I had a guideline of 15 to natural life in prison, and the judge gave me 6 years time served because of what I did for the government. Other than that, I was a shit's creeping no paddle. My life was over. You know what I mean? And I didn't cooperate
Damn.
till 2 years in. Yeah, I was done. My original case is all over. I was fucked. So,
Wow. Damn. So
yeah.
you only got 6 years.
I
Is
did
that what you
six
said?
years
No,
on
no,
the
no.
6 years on the last one. Yeah. I did a total of
Oh.
13, but on the last one I did 6 years, right?
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
So, quick question then about cooperation. His ex girlfriend, Caroline Ellison, she cooperated against him. A couple of his childhood best friends cooperated against him. And they were all involved with Alameda and FTX at the highest level. So, how many years do you think they might get? I've heard some people say they might get out of this with no jail time.
No jail time. Yeah. You see,
Gee.
like how the government works. See, me, I had to do time because I had violence. So they're gonna make you do some time with violence when you cooperate. If you have no violence and stuff like this, nothing. Not even probation. Maybe probation. Yeah. Plus, the case is so big. I mean, they're so happy to get this conviction on this guy. I mean, these people are gonna get praised.
I
Let
mean,
him
they
go.
really wanted Sam from the get-go. They really
Bad. Yeah.
he
So he
was the
cooperated. Yeah,
big
they won't get nothing. They won't get no jail time. There's no violence involved. You know, they're copping out to high guidelines. When they go in front of a federal judge, they'll get time served with no time, or maybe probation, maybe, and pay
Wow.
some money back. Yeah,
That is wild. That's wild. I mean,
yeah.
to me, I think they should all have to pay money back. Like to me, even with Sam, I'm kind of like, I think he should definitely have to pay the victims back. Like obviously, but like life in prison, obviously, I think it's
What
too
they didn't
extreme.
say? They didn't say he had to pay no money back.
It hasn't come out yet. Nothing about that has come out yet. Maybe does that come out during sentencing?
Yeah, he's gonna have to give some money, 100%. He's gonna have to.
Yeah.
He might say he don't have it, but they're gonna put money on him. You know what I mean? Like it'll
Yeah.
come out of his books. They don't care. They'll take whatever it is. If you put it on your commissary, they'll take money per month from you. So if you owe
Oh,
money,
damn.
you're gonna pay one way or another with the government. So I'm sure they're gonna make him pay back some millions of dollars. I can't see how
Yeah.
not. You know,
Yeah, no,
they're
I mean
definitely gonna make.
he should. I mean, I don't think he's going to be able to pay back 8.7 billion dollars, but we'll
No,
see.
no.
Um,
But everyone still thinks he has the money, though. Honestly, everyone like that we were with still thinks that he has all the money.
Sent me a bunch of documents while he was on house arrest, and one of them was he screenshotted me pictures of his bank account. He screenshotted me like, and in his bank account he has 200K left. But I'm also like, dude, you're a multi-billionaire. Is this really your only bank account? This is really all you? I don't
I
know.
don't believe that. That I don't
But I
believe. You
also
know what I mean?
like,
Yeah.
but there's so many conspiracy theories. Some people are like, he has billions lying around. I'm like, I don't think he has billions lying around. He probably has more than 200K though. But I don't think he's
Wait,
got like,
you know, oh, I forgot to tell you. You know, who he told me he used to FaceTime with and
oh,
talk with
who?
Elon Musk.
Oh, so they had some business dealings together, but Sam
Yeah.
actually, they ended up like talking. Well, I know Sam talked shit about Elon to me. Elon has talked shit about Sam. But what did Sam say to you about him and Elon?
We asked him. He said he was cool with him. He used to talk. He said they would talk here and there. You know, he dealt with Elon Musk with some money. You know, we were just like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? It's
Does that
crazy. You know
get
what I
Sam
mean?
some like cool points in prison? Because also Sam was sort of friendly with Tom Brady and a lot of big.
Right.
I think Shaq too was on
I
some of his
think
ads.
Tom Brady got hit too. Didn't Tom Brady lose some money?
He did a lot of
He
money.
lost a lot, right?
But yeah,
I,
but
I,
they were kind of cool. They were kind of friendly. I know that they texted and they were kind of friendly. Like, does that win him any cool points in jail? Do people like
I mean,
excited to
yeah.
hear his story?
I mean, yes, people want to hear those stories, the people he dealt with and the kind of money he's making, but he wasn't. See, the people in there want to hear about the things that he bought and has. He wasn't doing that, so he really couldn't talk
Yeah.
about jewelry and cars because he wasn't. He's driving a Toyota Camry. He's driving a 2020 Toyota Camry. The car was like $18,000. I mean, he's a billionaire, so he wasn't really flashing. You know, there's nothing really to talk about. No yachts. We thought he had a yacht. We're like, bro, you gotta have a yacht. He's like, no. I said, how don't you have like a $50 million yacht or something like that? He just didn't. Wasn't his thing. He said he wasn't into it. He didn't care about it. He said. He
I
said he
really
didn't
think
care.
that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
like now that he turned out to have been, I guess I have to call him an actual fraudster. I used to say alleged fraudster, but I guess he's been convicted. But like now, people think that every single thing about him is a lie. People think that he really liked these expensive things secretly. They think that I don't know. They think everything is a lie. But I'm like, I think he really wasn't into that kind of stuff. Like, he had,
That's
he
what he
had a
told
nice,
us.
nice apartment. Yeah,
He told us he wasn't that. He wore an Apple Watch. He wore regular basketball shorts every day. And the only thing he had was a nice place in the Bahamas that he actually shared with people. He said he didn't even live alone. I think he shared it. That's what he
he
told me. He
had
said he
10
shared it.
roommates.
Yeah, he said it was
10
worth $30
roommates.
million though. He said it was worth 30
Yeah.
million. That was the only thing he spent money on.
Damn.
That was it.
I'm also
Yeah.
curious, like any other like interesting things he told you guys, because
No, that
I'm
was
wondering if he exaggerated anything or lied about anything, because that is
no.
all true, everything he said.
Yeah, no, he did not exaggerate nothing. He was very told it how it was. He was actually very like on point, and he was very with certain people. He wouldn't talk about his case though. You know what I mean? He didn't want to talk about his like details things. He would just tell you what he wanted. But I guess his lawyer was telling him people will try to jump on your case, so don't say too
Mm.
much. You know what I mean? Because the feds, you could jump on cases. Feds, you could do that. People could jump on your case in the feds.
What do you mean jump on your case? Like if he made an admission to someone, for example, then they could use that.
So if somebody's in there, remember, in the feds, this cooperation never ends. You could get a Rule 35 on the time you already got cut off. You keep getting time cut off. So if you listen and the prosecutor, you go to him and say, listen, he told me this, and they think it's valid, they'll use you. You'll get credit for that. And if he gets convicted, you get time off your sentence.
So people are probably trying to
Yeah.
get information out of him.
So he was, I think his lawyer told him, like, don't really go into too much detail with your stuff because people will try to jump on your case. You're very high profile, you know what I mean? Super high profile. So you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Guys will try to jump on your case, you know?
I'm glad that he's listening now because prior to his trial, I don't like again, I don't know how closely you followed it, but he was doing a fucking media tour during his house arrest.
Well, and also he was telling me why he got remanded. Something over a Times Magazine thing. He was saying something happened in Times. He was explaining to me what happened. I didn't understand it. And he said that it was a threat and the prosecutors got him remanded. I don't know. He was explaining
So
it to me. I
he
didn't understand. It didn't make sense.
Well, so Caroline Ellison is one of the cooperators against him and was his ex-girlfriend. So he had a bunch of her private like diary writings, but he ultimately ended up giving it to the New York Times and they did a story on it. So he got thrown in jail for witness tampering.
Yeah, that's what he was telling me. He said, "Yeah, I'm like witness tampering. What'd you do?" And he explained it. It was so stupid. Yeah, to be honest with you, I didn't understand that.
I don't know why he
Yeah.
did that because I'm like, I don't think it helped his case at all. So you were in prison for 13 years. Like, how did you cope with that mentally? How were you able to make it through? Like, did you end up coming to terms with it, or how did you
Yeah, well,
cope?
you do. Well, once you're sentenced, I mean, there's nothing you can really do about it, you know. And I was in Rikers Island at one time in my life, and that was just a horror show, you know. So I knew what it was to be in like the worst spots. So, like I said, I was in and out. I did a total of 13. My longest stint straight was 6 years. But like I said, you have to come with terms with it. There's nothing you can do about it. You're stuck there. That's it. You have to. That's your life until you either get released or you die. I mean, that's just what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. You can cry, you can scream, you can complain. You're not going nowhere until your release date's there or you die. That's it. That's the only way you're leaving there. That's it. You have to come to
That's
terms with it. Yes.
Is that when you started like writing your book? Is that like did writing your book help you? Were you teaching classes? Did you do anything that like helped you get through it?
Well, I wrote my book in 2018. Somebody helped me with it, and then it took like a year to do it. And then when I got out, I cleaned it up with another author, and we went over it again. But yeah, the book thing definitely was cool. I sat up. It took a lot of time. I worked out a lot in prison. I'm a workout person. So I'm constantly working out. Even in jail, I was always working out, training people. I trained Fetty Wap. I trained. You know who I trained? Margarito Flores. He worked for El Chapo. They did the 50 Cent
Oh,
documentary on them. Yeah, that was my buddy. I trained him. I trained a lot of guys in that. I used to help them get like six packs and get cut up. So
damn.
that's how I killed my time. You know?
Jail is good networking,
Yeah, it
right?
is.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
and
Being
especially
with
in the
Fetty Wap.
feds. Yeah, Fetty Wap was a
Oh,
cool guy, man. I liked him. He was a real friendly guy. You would never think he's so friendly. He's super friendly, like
is he?
super down to earth. Yeah, real cool guy.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't actually know he was in prison. I mean, I know his music, I guess.
They gave him 6 years, and then he'll be home in another 2 years. But he was actually a really good person, and I didn't think he was gonna be, and he actually was. I was with him for a little while. We hung out like every day. Cool guy. Yeah.
So are there like a lot of high profile people that you've met then? I guess you've met
Yeah.
Fetty Wap and Sam Bankman-Fried.
Tons. I didn't realize who he was, and like I never even heard of him until he came into the jail, and then I realized who he was. I was like, who is that guy? I'm thinking like they're like, oh, he's like a Bernie Madoff. I said, oh, okay, like that, like stole like all kinds of money. I said, okay, he's all over the paper, and then I realized who he was, and all the money that they said he took, and I said, oh my God, this guy's done. They took that much kind of
Yeah.
money, he's done. Stealing from the
Shit.
government, that's the worst thing you could do. Oh my God.
Dude. I mean, so did people look at him like he's Bernie Madoff? I mean, when you see him, he's like the least
Bigger,
like intimidating.
bigger. I
Sorry.
think he stole. I think they say he took more than him.
I've seen different comparisons. I don't know the exact dollar amount Bernie took, but Sam took 8.6 billion. So it
I
is
don't think
certainly
Bernie took that much. I don't think Bernie took that much. You know how much time
well,
they gave Bernie Madoff?
150 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And Bernie pled guilty, and Sam didn't plead guilty. Although, granted, Sam sort of, I guess, the fraud lasted for much shorter time,
Yeah,
and he's
but
younger. I
yeah,
know. I hear a
it's
lot of mixed
over.
things. I mean, some people are like, "Hey, Sam is young, so the judge is going to want him to be able to see the light of day at some point, so he'll get a little less time." People have a lot of conflicting opinions on this, and I'm obviously no lawyer, and I've never been through the system before, but I hear a lot of different things about it.
My personal opinion, he'll never see the street again. That's just for me knowing how the feds operate usually. I can't see the judge having any compassion to him. I can't see the judge going against the government because he has the worst judge in that building that's known for going for the government. So I don't, if the prosecutor recommends 80 years, 100 years, he's going to be in that ballpark. That's just what it is. I'm going to be honest with you. There's no.
That's like, I
Mhm.
can't even imagine having to cope with the thought of being in jail or prison for life.
Right.
Oh my
And
God.
that's a hard pill to swallow. I know. Some people can't
Shit.
handle it. Some people kill themselves. Some people, just try to get
I'm
killed in
so
jail. They can't kill themselves, Tiffany, so they'll start a war and do something bad to somebody so the guy will kill them because they can't kill themselves. You know what I mean?
oh
I've seen that.
snap.
Yeah, absolutely. Go up to like a
Damn.
big gang member and tell them to suck your private, which is an automatic death sentence in jail. And they'll do that just to get somebody to try to kill them.
Scary. I mean, I'm still surprised to hear that he was in the suicide. I mean, I didn't know that he had like maybe expressed that he was going to kill himself or anything like that. That's
Yeah, I
surprising
don't
for
know
me.
why he was there. I don't know. They just told us he was coming from Suicide Watch. So,
Holy
and then he
shit.
came to our unit. So yeah, I don't know why.
Based on my interactions with Sam, he's never expressed like feeling suicidal, but also that was still on house arrest. So, like, I
All
guess
right.
things can change since then.
We'll know what happens with him because well, like I said, it's not guaranteed he gets sentenced in March. You do know that they push sentencing back sometimes.
Ooh, yeah. Well, he technically has a second trial in March for 5 more charges, even though he already got found guilty on all 7. But he got extradited from the Bahamas to the United States on 8 original charges from the DOJ. Then he got 2 superseding indictments with
Oh my
5
god.
additional charges. But apparently that was illegal for the U.S. government to do. Apparently they weren't supposed to add charges after he'd agreed to extradition on 8. So instead of dropping them, they got moved to a second trial in March. So I'm just like, is this really necessary? He's already found guilty. He's already facing potentially 115 years on these charges.
They're trying to make sure he never comes home. I'm telling you, they don't want. That's
Mhm.
it. They're trying to make sure he's never going to see the street again. Yeah, and you
God.
only get, with the phone, you only get 300 minutes a month, so you can only use the phone. It's only certain.
Right.
Yeah, so it's only a certain amount of minutes you get per month. You know what I mean? I mean, there is cell phones in that jail, but all over they're selling cell phones. But you got to be in a regular unit, and then you could be on a cell phone because
Do you know
the
if he
MDC Brooklyn is filled with cell phones. Yeah.
do you know if he got his hands on a cell phone, or is it not really in the high profile unit?
It's not going to be in that unit. If he goes to a regular unit, oh yeah, he'll have one in a second. There's fucking 20 on every floor, iPhones all
Damn.
over them. Yeah,
I
all
wonder
over.
if
So
Sam would trade up his safety to get access to a cell phone, because I know Sam loves his internet and he loves his games and
yeah,
shit.
I mean they sell them for 5,000 in there. So if he goes in there, he'll get an iPhone for 5,000, a brand new
Uh,
iPhone. You'll get in there $5,000.
but
It's
not in
sick.
not in the high profile in 4 North. That's what it's called, 4 North.
Cops ain't gonna deal with you. It's the cops bringing it in illegally. You know what I'm saying? So they're not gonna deal with you in that unit. But they'll on the other side, the cops are bringing in anything. They don't give a shit. They're just bringing it.
Jesus.
Yeah, for money. They don't
Jesus.
care. Yeah.
And so, oh, random question, but so in the 4 North unit, well, I guess obviously he doesn't have to mingle with the general population. I read that they bring you your meals to the dorm, so you don't have to
Yeah.
like.
They roll
Okay.
it. Yeah, comes in a big metal cart. Yeah, they roll it to you, and you don't go to a mess hall or nothing like that. It comes to you. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
do you guys have any meals together?
No, he don't eat. I told you you can't make because the food that we make, he don't eat. So he don't
Fuck.
eat beef logs and chips and things. You don't eat this stuff. All the stuff that we're eating, he don't eat it. So you can't.
He was kind of chubby before he went in, and when I saw him at trial, he lost weight. He looked
Yeah. And he's probably and deep down he's probably stressed out. You know what I mean? He won't show it, but he's probably stress is the number one
yeah.
killer. You could go in there and lose 20 pounds just in stress. Yeah.
I hope I'm able to talk to him eventually at one point. We'll
I
see.
think he will. I think so. I think
I
maybe
hope
write him
so.
again. You should write again. He might reach out because now the case is
I mean,
over.
yeah, I mean, although I guess technically he has a second trial, so I don't know if he's just being super careful right now because it's his second trial.
I still talk to people in that unit. So when they message me, I'll ask them what's going on if he's in there. You know what I'm saying? I'll
Please
tell the person
do.
to tell him Tiffany hello.
Please do. That'd be so
Yeah,
great.
I'll
Please
tell him.
do.
I'll talk to my friend because he has a text app. I'll just say, hey, the reporter Tiffany told Sam Bankman hello.
Yeah, please do. And I hope that there's
Yeah,
someone wherever he ends up that's gonna like protect him the way that you did. I mean, I really commend you for standing up for the little weak guy. Good job
right.
on that. So I
Thank
hope
you.
that there's someone like that wherever he ends up, because I feel like if Sam ends up getting into a fight, he could get killed.
Killed.
I don't know.
Yeah. He'll probably just pay. That was the whole thing. He'll probably just
He'll probably
pay.
get what?
If he'll probably just pay. That's what's
Hey.
going to end up happening. Yeah, if he gets to
Okay.
a regular spot, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how they're going to treat him. But if they're after him, he's going to have to check in and go into the hole and live like that. It's horrible. He might just end up paying someone just to leave him alone. Who knows? you know?
I hope he's able to without getting like continually extorted. I don't know how it works in prison, but I
Right,
wonder if you like pay one person
right.
if just everyone is trying to get your money.
Yeah, he'll probably end up with a certain person that he's giving this money to, and they'll keep everyone off of him, and just basically keep him protected. That's what's going to happen if he goes to a regular penitentiary. I think he's going to have to do that.
Is prison rape really actually a big
No,
concern?
no,
No?
no, that's not real. That's only like certain.
Really?
That's like movie stuff. That don't really
Okay.
happen. That's like that's rare. That's like lightning striking you. You know what I mean? It don't really happen. Yeah,
Okay.
that's movie
That's
shit.
good.
Yeah, that's not really real.
Okay, that's
They're doing it in
promising.
there because they want the people that are doing it is because they want to do it. You know what I mean? No one's forcing it on them. You know what I mean? They're not doing it to like force them. They're just gay or whatever they're doing. You know what I'm saying? That's really what
That's
it is.
true.
Yeah,
Well, then how
yeah,
do
yeah.
guys get off in like I mean, is there any privacy for guys? Just
Yeah,
showers
not
maybe?
really. I mean, yeah, in the bathroom, that's it. In the stalls, yeah, that's about it. Depends. The cell and see, federal cells, you bunk. It's all bunks. It's a fucked up situation, man. Feds is hard time right now. Right now, the due time in the feds is hard time.
I'm
You're
happy to meet
freezing.
another person who's been through the jail or prison system because I obviously know nothing about it.
You're freezing.
I'm freezing?
Freezing.
Am I still frozen? I hope that this video turns out okay.
No, I think it will.
Sometime I'd really still like to hear more about the mafia and mob stuff
Yeah,
because
we could
it's
we could
interesting.
do it. Yeah, whenever you
Yeah.
want. Like I says, yeah, I'll come on with you.
What
Yes.
mafia movies should I watch? Should I watch any mafia movies in
Good.
preparation?
Yes. Donnie Brasco, Goodfellas.
Donnie
Write it down.
Brasco. Yeah, I was gonna say I'll
Right.
write it down, but I was like, oh, I guess this is on a recording. So, okay, Donnie
Yeah.
Brasco,
Donnie Brasco, Goodfellas,
Goodfellas,
Casino.
Casino. That's in Vegas.
Those three.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go. Those three. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay, that's
Yeah.
exciting. Were any of them about the Bonnano crime family that you were a part of?
Donnie Brasco. Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for talking to me, and I'm sure we'll talk
Absolutely.
soon. Final note, I'm sure some people will be upset that I don't believe that Sam deserves a life sentence in prison, but as someone who lost the majority of my life savings to another collapsed crypto company called Celsius Network, I'm personally far more focused on restitution and clawbacks. I think Sam should have to work to repay creditors for the rest of his life, and I do believe in some amount of prison time as a deterrent, but having taxpayer dollars go towards housing and feeding Sam for the rest of his life in prison doesn't actually do creditors any good. And I obviously think this sentiment will upset some people, and maybe I can make a separate video on this, but it is just how I feel. I've had some previous conversations with Martin Shkreli and Matt Cox about how Sam Bankman-Fried might fare in prison, so if you're interested in watching more of this content, you can go and watch those on my channel. Let me know what other content you'd like to see, and I love you all so very much, and I'll talk to you all very, very soon. Bye!